to DIY Therapy. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. This podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not designed to diagnose or treat. When beginning any exercise program, it should be reviewed and discussed with your medical professional prior to beginning. Information on this podcast is not designed to replace medical treatment. My name is Will. With me, as always, is Andy, who is apparently underwater because he's making bubble noises.
My 4-year-old son taught me that noise.
Oh, he taught you that noise. You've never made that noise in your entire life.
We have gone through this many times. I'm not an intelligent man. I can't figure things out on my own.
Surely as a child, though, you would have oh, I did that. Wow.
No, very deprived childhood, too. My dad kept me in a room by myself, dark light.
You would have been more likely to make that noise then.
Oh, then
because you would have had nothing else to do.
So I'm sorry, I misspoke. He kept me in a very overstimulated room with lots of bright lights and noises. Better?
Yes.
Sure. Believe the lie. Believe the lie.
It's just like flashing, like you go into a not a rage, but you go into like fits whenever there's like flashing lights.
Yeah, every time I'm in a rave, which is all the time, I freak out.
Like seizures.
Yeah, I mean, it fits really.
It feels like home.
It's very conducive to my current lifestyle with 2 kids, a business, and a full-time job. So yeah, lots of raves. So what's up?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, hopefully this podcast turns out okay. I'm extremely tired. I was telling Will that if I mispronounce or enunciate anything, that's we're just going to blame it on my
more
fatigue,
than normal.
More of the normal, and also we're hoping that we can get to the level when I was sick one day and still did a podcast, and it was the worst podcast we've done, I think, thus far.
So far, yes, so far.
So,
which is impressive for us because none of our podcasts are really good.
Yeah, so when you keep digging deeper, it's like you keep thinking that well's been dug.
No, there's always a bottom.
We can always go lower.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely,
baby.
Absolutely. So topic today.
Hamstrings, hammies.
Oh, the hammies.
Hammies. You're pulling them, it's kind of where we are starting to get a little bit warmer. People might be out running. Baseball, kind of pulling their hammies.
Yeah, probably would you say it's the most pulled muscle?
I feel like it's the most.
I mean, I don't know if there's any statistics we have.
No, but I feel like it's the most commonly talked about one.
Yeah.
It's whenever you
don't pull your quad that much.
No, you don't pull your quad.
Flexors occasionally, but hammy.
No, it's usually like I pulled a hammy. Yeah. That's always the.
Yeah, and people are probably talking about their bicep, but they still call it a hammy. Look at this on my arm. I pulled my hammy. No, okay, so a little bit about the anatomy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the anatomy of the hamstring is essentially, it's 3 different muscles. The attachment point is really kind of on your sit bones, your ischial tuberosity.
You're calling them sit bones too now.
Well, you've somehow dumbed me down quite a bit. Shocking. So the anatomy starts, there's 3 different muscles. They start on your sit bones, and then 2 of the muscles will actually attach on the lower portion underneath the knee and behind the knee. Okay? So closer to your foot, like beyond the knee itself. So it'll actually bend the knee. Okay,
yep.
So and also extend the hip.
Yep.
And then the other muscle is on the outer portion of the knee. And so really what it does, both of these, or all 3 of these muscles will kind of internally or rotate the hip inward also, and then also externally rotate or rotate the hip outways.
Yeah, externally rotate would mean outwards, yes.
No, I know. I just didn't know how to properly phrase it.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. You can feel the tendons if you feel the back of your knee. There'll be 2 guitar strings on the inside, and there'll be a bigger guitar string on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially, if you kind of dig the heel into the ground and kind of
they'll pop out.
Those will be those hamstring muscles. So hamstrings are particularly important for running. Yep. Most of the time, if people do actually injure the hamstring, it's not typically like if there's a real strain that occurs. It's going to be because of like a quick sprint. And then usually, if you have more of like a tendonitis or an overuse injury, it's going to be because of kind of long distance or repetitive stress running on the hamstrings, where you get more of a tendonitis type of injury. So, yeah. But I think one of the topics we wanted to talk about was really what is a hamstring pull or strain.
Yep.
Okay, so a hamstring pull or strain can really be kind of broken up into 3 different categories: grade 1, 2, and 3. And really, these grades are applicable to almost all muscle injuries. So a grade 1 is really where you're talking about more like micro tears, okay, micro traumas, small little muscle fibers that are being torn or overstretched.
Yeah, it sounds worse than it really is. It sounds when you say that sort of stuff. But it's so. Micro means very small, so it's not as bad as it is.
Yeah, so
sounds at least.
So with this type of tear, what you'd actually experience would be probably some point tenderness over the area. Maybe you could possibly have a little bit of bruising or a little bit of swelling. Probably not, though, but you would have a lot of pain just using that muscle action. So kind of like how I told you to dig the heel into the ground and to kind of make that muscle contract a little bit, you'd have pain with that. But most of the time, these aren't limiting in terms of like our functional activities. So like walking around the house, doing yard work, maybe even going for a gentle walk, that isn't very aggressive or lengthening up your stride. Those are things that probably wouldn't agitate this. What's going to agitate it is possibly if you get into the grade 2s and grade 3s. So a grade 3 or grade 2 tear is where you actually get more muscle fiber tear. Okay, so you'll actually get a tear of the muscle tissue itself. These aren't micro; they now become a larger portion, and so you're getting like a 50 to 75% tear of the muscle. Anywhere in that range. Now with this, you're certainly going to get some edema, swelling, and or I know.
Okay, I'm laughing because he's saying edema and swelling. So it's basically like saying
the same thing.
Up, or up high, or jumbo shrimp. No, that's not right.
No, that's wrong. Oxymoron. You are a moron. What? Did I say that loud?
Yeah.
No. Hopefully that won't record.
No, it's fine. It skipped it. It's fine.
It's appropriate anyways.
Yeah.
So you'll actually have some swelling that occurs. Your functionality may actually be limited at that point. So it might be painful to go up and down stairs. It might be painful to get up even from like a chair. You're going to need some more rest that actually is required for that to calm down and or heal. Depending on how large a grade 2 tear is, usually it's not something that you need to have surgical intervention for, but if it is, up into that 75% range, it could be something that they need to look at and you may need to actually talk to a surgeon about. But most grade 2 tears are still something that you can treat conservatively, and isn't something that you need to go see technically a medical professional, specifically a surgeon, maybe a physical therapist, but also you can treat some of these things on your own through rest and slowly kind of systematically increasing activities to your tolerance.
So like a wellness consultation would be a good...
Yes, speak of the devil, wellness consultation. Go, Will. Shameless plug.
We're offering wellness consultations. Basically, you can talk to one of us. You can set up a time online. You can talk to one of us, and if you're having any sort of issue, whether it be hamstring or other related, and we can help you assess what the problem is, figure out what's making it worse, and then start you down the path of how to treat yourself. That's our thing. And it's our thing. And get you back to doing what you want to do.
Yeah. Basically, like everything we've always talked about, calming the tissue down, what are the strategies that need to be avoided, modified, what are the things that you need to do specifically to help calm it down, and then slowly, systematically build it up based upon your lifestyle and your unique situation. So that's what we can help kind of guide you through. And usually we can get people through there. We've had really good success with it. Usually we can get people through that whole process within 2 to 3 consultations. It's usually a fairly quick process. So if you're interested in that, you can email us at
DIYtherapy206@gmail.com.
We also have bookings available at
DIYtherapy.net.
Yeah, booking page. Anyways, so if you're looking more at like a grade 3 then tear, you are looking at like a complete tear.
That's outside of our realm.
So usually with a grade 3 tear, so the way that this works is that there actually is like minimal pain. Okay, because when you have a grade 3 tear, the nerve within the muscle is actually ruptured also, so pain isn't there, but you will have a lot of bruising and swelling that occurs. Yeah. But what you'll also lose is functionality. So when you're trying to dig that leg into that heel into the ground, you're not going to get a good solid contraction of that. In fact, it might be flaccid. And
flaccid means soft.
Yes.
Weak.
Yes.
Not really weak.
Not rigid.
Yeah, there you go. There you
not
go.
rigid.
Yeah.
So, get your head out of the gutter. If you're having those types of symptoms, then it's probably best to go and look for your surgeon or talk to your doctor and eventually maybe get a referral to your surgeon.
Yes. Yeah.
So, the last thing that I think we wanted to talk about a little bit was kind of sometimes you had kind of talked about it prior to us getting on the air, kind of that idea that people have a pull.
Yeah, they feel like a pull is like, or even like sometimes they feel like a cramp is a pull. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times, like, it just, I can tell you from way back in the day in high school,
Glory days.
Yeah, I know, right? My senior year, because I played football all 4 years, and we were a small enough school that we had to play both ways. So that means you had to play offense and defense. And I also played some special teams at the same time. So that means...
He's a utility knife.
Yeah, basically, can opener. I got the toothpick. I got everything.
Everything. Swiss Army.
But my senior year, we got a new coach, and the new coach did not. In the beginning part of the summer, you're supposed to do doubles, and you're getting your body ready to running a lot. We did not run a lot, and so the first. And as a senior, you're like, that's fine. I don't care. Then comes the first game. I'm like, nope, not ready for this. Hamstrings.
Did you break?
Hamstrings cramped up quite a bit. It never pulled, but that first game it was just definitively like that. It was never because you'd go to take a sprint and immediately it would just seize up. Mm-hmm. And I feel like some people might confuse that with like a pull.
Yeah. Which it's not.
No.
Usually muscle cramping is because of either one, dehydration, lack of electrolytes, and or the last thing would be just increased activity in the muscle that it just is not tolerant to.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing that we wanted to talk about too was, so basically the three main things that are very easily treatable on your own are going to be that tendonitis type of injury, a grade 1 muscle tear, and then what a lot of times can be difficult for people to differentiate is a grade 1 tear versus like a quick little stretch of the sciatic nerve, which will actually present very much like a grade 1 tear.
Yeah, because the nerves are amazing things, but they can only tell you what they do.
So let's talk about that tendonitis first. So the tendonitis is going to be, again, you could actually develop the tendonitis at the origin, which would be right at the buttocks. Okay, so if you're really tender right underneath your buttocks, where the tendons will actually originate from, then that may be where you're experiencing some of that. Or it could be in those tendons that are sitting behind your knee that we'll describe kind of as like guitar strings. So this is, again, usually something that's developed through repetitive strain. Usually long-distance runners would have this. Sprinters, hurdlers, a lot of times will have this.
Hurdlers, because they're asking a lot.
Yeah, they're really overextending those.
Especially those high hurdlers,
those hamstrings. Yeah. But usually it's due to repetitive stress. So guess what? The best thing for it is
rest,
ice, gentle stretching prior, so that you don't, you definitely have to make sure that prior to any activity, you're making sure that that tissue is actually getting stretched out so that you're not overstraining it when it could be tight. And then slowly integrating, kind of implementing a program that's allowing you to kind of gradually stair-step a progression. So you just kind of progress from, kind of an introduction to the running to a little bit more time, maybe a little bit more intensity in that time, then do a little bit more time, add a little 2, 3, 4 more minutes, then maybe pick up the pace a little bit, and you slowly do this over a 2 or 3 week period. Continuing to ice and stretch before and afterwards, and probably intermittently, even when you aren't exercising.
Even when you feel like you're slightly starting to get better, you still continue them.
Yeah. So that's how you'd handle kind of a tendonitis. Truthfully, that's how you'd handle kind of a tear, grade 1 tear, and the slight nerve pull. The difference between the grade 1 tear is that you may have some swelling that actually does occur and or bruising.
I feel like the swelling would be hard to discern because of where the location. It's not like You know what I mean? It's not like a joint where it's real obvious or even a
yeah,
spot.
You're totally right. Sometimes the swelling will actually collect behind the knee a lot of times.
Yeah, just because of the gravity.
And if it's on that lower portion of the hamstring. But you could find a pocket like right in the back where you just kind of find kind of a nodule type of thing that you can experience. So, icing obviously is going to be something that's good for that. Gentle stretching, and then slowly kind of, again,
working back into it again.
Back into it from a progressive standpoint. The last thing that is a little bit different is like whether or not you strain your nerve, which isn't necessarily like overstretch a nerve real quick. This is something that people will recover from like in a week.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's not a true pull.
It's not a true pull. It's really irritated the heck out of that nerve, and those muscles are actually going to spasm around it to try to protect that nerve, because that's kind of the defense mechanism for the nervous system and for the body in general. And so the idea with this is that you would do some gentle hamstring stretches and then also some gentle nerve glides with probably a ankle and or knee emphasis.
Yep.
Okay. Which maybe we can upload.
We'll put them on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and
so people can see those. So, but really, I mean, the nice thing about whether or not you've got like a grade 1 strain, grade 1 tear, or the nerve issue is that the treatment for those things are kind of the same. So you can really, for the most part, you can, even if you're questioning what it is, you can really,
all of them kind of
they all kind of lean together.
You won't hurt. If it's one, then it won't matter to do the other.
Yeah, differentiating. The big thing is if you really have a grade 2 strain, that's where you've got to back off a little bit more, let the tissue heal, go through that kind of inflammatory response and healing process a little bit more, let things calm down a bit more, and then you can move on.
Yep.
So the good news is that what's going on, like you having to differentiate these things on your own isn't that much of a priority. You just have to kind of think about it as we've kind of talked about it, and calm it down first, see how your body's responding, and then slowly build it up.
Yep.
So that's I think that hit all the topics we wanted to touch on.
That's pretty much it. That's the hamstring. It's an often
and if it doesn't work, I usually tell just cut it off.
Just going in surgery. I want it surgically removed.
That's my solution to everything.
Yeah. Wait, my hamstring does not work anymore. Can I?
I'd like it removed, please.
Yeah. Can I have a new robot leg?
Probably pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's around the corner.
Just wait. Boston Dynamics or Boston.
Yeah, it's Boston Dynamics. Yeah.
Boston Dynamics.
Their buildings is like straight robots. I don't think they're doing orthopedics or not orthopedic, but
they should be. Gosh darn it!
I mean, somebody else is doing it. I'm sure.
I want an AI hamstring.
Why would you want that on your body? Because it will turn around and kill you eventually. As we've discussed, all AI will turn evil and kill us all.
No, the best is when we had that discussion about how there is now, like, they've built AI to monitor AI. Like, that's a solution. Remember when we had that conversation?
Yes.
Like, Boston Dynamics actually built AI to monitor.
This other one seems like it says it's fine.
Yeah. Like, they're not communicating.
They're not communicating like, hey, these humans, they're a bunch of idiots. We should probably just nuke them all and, start over.
Yeah, here's our safety net. We're going to create this other.
You mean Skynet? I'm sorry. Did you say safety net or Skynet?
Skynet. Speaking of Skynet, new Terminator coming out. What initial reaction?
I mean, the Terminator looked really cool.
Yeah, it does.
I'll have to see how that goes.
I like the fact that James Cameron's actually involved. Again.
Actually, yeah.
He not usually. He does not produce bad movies. So, hopefully that'll be better than the last few.
Yeah, it can't be worse.
No. Although I don't even think I saw the last couple ones.
I've stopped. I've not seen the last two.
The one with
three.
Khaleesi. I did not see.
Felicity?
No, not Felicity.
Was Felicity in one of them?
No.
She was in a Mission Impossible.
Yes, she was.
She was good in that for like the 5 minutes she was in it.
Yeah, then she died. Spoiler alert.
For a movie that is
10 years old.
At least.
Who knows? We don't even know who our audience is. Do we have one?
If anyone has listened to this point and has watched that Mission Impossible and or not seen it and this was spoiled you, mayil us at DIY Therapy.
And we will refund you your movie ticket. What?
No. Yeah, your movie ticket from 10 years ago, which will be $6 maybe?
Your Amazon Prime rental fee?
For that movie might be, I don't know how much it'd be.
I have no idea. We're not doing that anyway, so don't email us.
No, but if this was spoiled for you, I want to know.
Yes, tell us your sob story.
And
we will read it on our next podcast.
Yes, I will definitively do that.
Yes, we will share your story.
All right,
we are empathetic.
Yeah,
people.
we're wrapping this up.
Yeah.
This podcast is questionably for educational purposes only. It is not designed to diagnose or treat. When beginning any exercise program, it should be reviewed and discussed with your medical professional prior to beginning. Information on this podcast is not designed to replace medical treatment. Remember, treat yourself.